Okay everyone, this is the first of two videos I promised you this weekend. So let's get started. What you're looking at here, guys, is problem 3, which we may or may not have done in class, but I'm going over in detail here. And notice, first of all, follow the yellow. It's in standard form. What does that mean? We have to do negative b over 2a to find the vertex, right? And doing it correctly, notice I got a 2. And if you look in the table, guys, that 2, negative 3 is right there. That is my vertex. Okay, the point of the parabola, as I like to refer to it as. Now, pause the video if you need to study this, by the way, right now. But anyways, what I want to point out, guys, is that when you look at the graph completed, how did we do the table again, by the way, is we first followed the red. We started with 2. We knew that was a vertex. Again, we counted up and down a couple numbers each way, and I kept them in order. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 are the points I want to graph. Okay? And then what did I proceed to do? I went to my calculator. Notice I plugged in the 0, got negative 7, plugged in the 1, got negative 4, plugged in the 2, and got negative 3. And then if you look at my table, that's where these values here came in. And of course, then I use symmetry, right? Negative 4s match there, negative 7s match there. And I proceed to do my graph. The other thing I want you to notice, guys, is down here, don't forget that a is always your x squared number, so a is negative 1, b is always your x number, so that's 4. C is always a constant at the end, that was negative 7, because that's going to come into play when we do the quadratic formula. Okay? But anyways, what else should we know about this graph? We have the table done, we have it plotted, we know where the vertex is. Well, what about the y-intercept? Isn't the y-intercept there at negative 7? And note that we were fortunate enough that it happened to be in our table. So does everyone agree 0, negative 7 is where the graph crosses the y-axis? Also notice, though, something kind of strange and peculiar. But guys, do you notice how the graph never crosses the x-axis up here? The x-axis is not touched. And if the graph does not cross the x-axis, there's no real answer, no real intercepts for x-intercepts. Okay? And that's going to play out here right now. So watch this here. So again, I already talked about the calculator. Oh, by the way, right here, as you can see, I plugged in, let's see, let me make sense out of this. I'm drawing a blank right here. Oh, that's for a different graph. Sorry, guys, my mistake. I'm going to have to remember to refer to that hopefully here. But anyways, this is what I wanted you to look at. Okay? Oh, that's what it was for. Okay, so guys, here I'm doing the quadratic formula. Okay? Again, notice we already talked about the a, b, and c's. And as I did negative b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac all over 2a, and then I simplified it, notice, follow the yellow, negative of 4, of course, is negative 4. And 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. The discriminant part, that's the square root part. That's a fancy name for it, guys. Notice, comes out to be negative 12. And that's what I have in the calculator here. This is my b squared minus 4ac, and I got a negative 12. So guys, if I get a square root of negative 12, do you guys understand that that's imaginary? Therefore, there are no x-intercepts. No real intercepts, in other words. They are imaginary, because we can't do the square root of negative 12, right? So anyways, hopefully all of that fits together and makes sense. Let's do one more. Number 4. Notice, guys, I did my negative b over 2a up here. I got my vertex at negative 2 as shown there in the table. I completed my table in a similar way. Here is actually the calculator work. As you can see, I plugged in negative 4, I got 6. Plugged in negative 3, got 0. Plugged in negative 2, got negative 2. Okay? So what does that mean is that's where these values came from. And again, we have symmetry here. And I graphed it. So we got the graph done. We got the table done correctly. The graph done correctly. So let's analyze a little bit. First, note again that the y-intercept is actually shown right there. And it's in my table again at 0, 6. In other words, if I plug in 0, I would get 6, correct? Let me see if I did that on my calculator. No, I did the discriminant again. Okay, so anyways, guys, a lot on my mind, so hopefully this is making sense. So it is in my table, though. 0, 6 is my y-intercept. Now, what about my x-intercepts? Follow my yellow down here, guys. Notice they cross at negative 3 and negative 1, and that's reflected in my table again. See the negative 3, 0, and the negative 1, 0. Okay, so we know our y-intercept is 6, our x-intercepts are negative 3 and negative 1. So pause the video if you want to take notes or analyze this. In the meantime, I'm actually going to clean it up a little bit. Maybe make it a little bit easier to see. And then one more thing I wanted to follow up on, guys, is here's my work with the quadratic formula. Follow the blue. I did negative of the b plus or minus b squared, square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a, right? Follow the yellow. Negative 8, of course, is negative 8. 2 times 2 is 4. This time my discriminant became 16, and that's what I did in the table right here, guys. I did the discriminant part. See the b squared minus 4ac there, and I got 16. And we all know the square root of 16, of course, is 4. 4. And so all I did, follow the red, is I did negative 8 plus 4 divided by 4. That came out to be negative 1. I did negative 8 minus 4 divided by 4 and got negative 3. And those, again, guys, are exactly what we got in the table there and there as our zeros, right? So, see how everything fits together. Now, guys, we will spend some time just doing quadratic formula to get you guys better with that. But the whole point, guys, is know what does this quadratic formula do is find our x-intercepts, okay? Our x-ints. Pause the video if you need to. So guys, I hope you study this video at least one more time. Take good notes. Make sure you understand everything I did. And then I'll see you in the classroom. Until next time, bye.